Gaming is getting expensive, and looking throughout the years with all the different things companies have used to sort of get as much money as they can from a release, it's honestly surprising how weird some of these things get. We honestly want to blame Bethesda for the horse armor deal, because Jesus Christ, there's no reason Sonic Origins, a collector's pack of all classic games, to have a gaming checklist or these little stupid comparative grids as Ubisoft seems to pitch. Why is my camera out of focus? I want to try something new! These little bullshit little lists that companies provide to you to give you the best package for you to select on your release day is nothing but a bunch of smoke and mirrors. And Ubisoft is the biggest company that shills all of this garbage. The amount of things that they're willing to just sell you to basically make the purchase worthwhile, like, I don't give a flying if your game is gonna give me gear packs for an extra 20 bucks and boosts. Like, am I gonna go faster on the map? And these things have been around for a while, and it's honestly why it's been lingering in my head for so long, and I think it's gonna be the reason why these things are just gonna get more and more expensive. But all of these packages, they're willing to just basically up the price with upwards of $100 extra. Just to sprinkle a little bit extra in there, buddy. And it's super bizarre what type of games have these sort of checklist features, because the main two companies that I seem that always kind of shoot them around is Ubisoft and Sega. Granted, I think Sega is a lot more looser with their sort of things, but they're not innocent in the slightest. Like, Sonic Origins, for Christ's sake, has one of these checklists, and it's just like, ooh, for 20 extra bones on release, I get hard mode. It's a fucking classic collection! Another one of these things that they like to kind of tag on to some of these extra price points that they've been using recently is the 3-day early, or sometimes up to a week's early access to the game. It's what I bought Starfield for, and I don't regret it, but I don't want to play the game anymore. And Star Wars Outlaws, one of the new games Ubisoft showed that I mentioned earlier, actually includes this 3-day early bonus, and it seems like it's going to stick around. Like, even Sonic Colors, Remastered, or Ultimate, it doesn't look that ultimate. I love Sonic. I love Sonic the Hedgehog. I love Sonic so much. Chili dogs! Do I have a Sonic plush over there? I need to get a Sonic plush, bro. But like I said, the 3-day early access doesn't really guarantee, like, just an ultimately great experience just off the bat. Like, I think a recently good example of this whole bullshit was the new Suicide Squad game, which up until that, it looked like a pretty decently fun movement shooter. Like, I thought the movement of it all looked fun, but all the missions looked pretty fucking boring. Like, I watched, like, people stream that whole day. That was bad. That was bad. It's like 3 enemies in the whole game. Deluxe Edition costs $99.99, so you would have had to pay $100 up front, and you would have gotten 72 hours early. And so, when that day came, those people that paid that price, they got a fucking smack in the face with a completed save file, and the servers being so unbelievably fucking abysmal that they couldn't even house it. They just had to shut it down basically for that first day to get it really up and working. So, your $100 that you paid to play it 3 days early, I'm sorry, I think that's just kind of, it's like the kiss on the cheek of what's going on lately with gaming. It's quite humorous, and it's why it's cool to see a lot of these indie projects really skyrocket in popularity. It's incredibly awesome to see people talk about Hades 2, and the hype for it is awesome. And it's just a small indie company. But even with things like Helldivers, the Lethal Company, and even like Content Warning recently, that was fun. I might have something funny for that if this works out. And it's just overall sad to see the state of a lot of these big companies that I used to really love in the past. Like, I am a sucker for a good Rayman platformer. I remember playing, like, this is probably the worst version you could have played that on. The original Rayman on the GBA. That was my bread and butter. But even then, Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends is fucking incredible. Please go play those games if you have not. Just, that's what I wish out of Ubisoft these days, and it It is just a sad state, I'll tell you. This video is just shitting on Ubisoft. Every video about this shit is just shitting on Ubisoft because they're the main culprits of this shit. They're probably the reason that shit is so expensive because they're chasing this inescapable dream to become the next Fortnite. All I want is just really good games to come out of these companies, and the fact that these are just all shattered behind these ridiculous paywalls that are supposed to basically encourage you to buy in as much as you can and then just honestly leave those people to die. It's just very sad because there was a recent, I remember when they showed off an Avatar, the Frontiers of Pandora game, and that shit has a fucking checklist too. My God! I remember when I saw the trailer, it looked like such a cool idea to kind of explore that world in a way that's unique to that franchise. It's fucking Far Cry! My favorite clip about that game is that one streamer that got sponsored by it, and
Hey, huge shout out to Ubisoft for sponsoring the stream for real, man. You can get this game on PlayStation, Xbox.
Well, seems as though our Avatar experience has came to an end.
Okay. Man, I'm gonna play this off stream, man. We're gonna finish this mission up off stream. What's up, Dave? Then the camera died.
And then that game released, and there was, little to no fanfare of it. The whole concept of it was so cool, and the game fucking barely could even survive even a day. That's the thing. I heard little to nothing about this game, and nothing was stopping it to be, everywhere. I guess the game was just that boring. It's just, you can't just slap the same mechanics and components that you've done for years on end and just expect success. It's sad. Oh, actually, I see the reason why. They released it on the same day as Lego Brick Tales. That was their first mistake. This whole live service angle that they really want to tackle and how much they're marketing and pursuing, it's ultimately going to be their downfall. Releasing these half-baked games and overall hoping that people buy into them to overall just gain in as much income as you can to basically fund the development of your game, it's not going to work out in the end, especially with a lot of these big indie titles going to take up the scene. A lot of the big releases this year are going to be indie. Sony doesn't have any games this year. I don't think Microsoft is going to release anything except everything on PlayStation, but the latest endeavor that kind of jump-started a lot of this is the Skull and Bones stuff with Ubisoft. There's even one for Skull and Bones, but it's just basically the standard edition and one that comes with the extra season pass. And 2 extra missions? Are you Bro, the game is lacking. Put those in the game. Your games are already lacking in such a degree. Why are you locking content behind paywalls? It's not going to help. If your game is lackluster, you putting these extra missions, Skull and Bones was kind of just chasing another live service dream that should have been canceled long ago, but I think it was thanks to the Singapore government. They had a deal with, working with, Singaporean employees and basically just making sure that this game gets released because the Singaporean government put money into it. So then I think it would have been a crime. I don't fucking know. The game should have just been fucking scrapped ages ago. Did Skull and Bones get announced? E3 2017. The game was in development for 11 years. Why? Ubisoft has had a lot of other problems, and it's stemming to why I think the company is really starting to struggle in these latter years. It's just all of these built-up things that are just ultimately going to lead to them just fucking whittling out like a flopping fish. Like that one video of the goldfish just on the factory floor. But anyways, I really don't have much else to say about these little checklist deals. They're just very odd to me because the only ones that I really see are from Ubisoft, and I've seen them a lot. They're just kind of popping up everywhere, and they seem to stem from the goddamn devil himself. So I just thought it'd be fun to kind of just discuss these and just really what confuses me about them, because they're unnecessary and they literally could be easily solved by just having the game and a season pass bundle or whatever. With how much DLC games are getting and how much companies are able to milk out these games for such a long degree, it's obvious that things are going to get a lot more difficult. Like with Rainbow Six Siege, there's a lot of different things with that. You have to buy different things, like they've sold shit. Those grids are helpful for those sort of aspects. But for these new big releases to help you overall encourage you to see which one you should buy, brother, I just want the game. And if it's gonna go up $10 extra because of this, fuck you, Ubisoft.